Hi, welcome back to our session on games and activities and how to use them to connect with your students virtually. School is boring, let's face it, especially distance learning. I see my kids there working on it all day long and they are bored. They don't like school, but we can add some engaging activities to make it a lot more interesting. The other day, my son's teacher had them stacking cups and did a lesson all about stacking cups. And he was instantly engaged, as well as his sister, who also wanted to try the challenge. So, making things fun is going to engage our students and to bring them into our learning. When I was in my classroom over the summer, I found some science books that hadn't been used before. There were some old workbooks, and I had enough to pass them out to all of the fourth grade students. So I went ahead and passed them out at our curriculum pickup. And in there, I've been doing the science experiments and videotaping myself doing them with my own kids. And we are having so much fun making these videos and then creating activities for the students to do at home. And the students are saying that it's their favorite part of the week is to do these experiments. And they get to do them right alongside of me if they have the materials at home. And if not, they get to watch it done and still get to participate in the experiment. So making something a little bit more interesting, I could have just had them read that part of the book and watch the book do the science experiment, but instead they got to do it, make it a little bit more impactful. One of the experiments this week had them adding salt to water, and then one of my kids decided that they were going to drink it at the end, which caused a huge display of grossness, and the kids thought it was hilarious. I wasn't going to post the video for them, but they absolutely loved it. And guess what? Several of them ended up trying it as well. So make it fun, make it interesting. I also like to add in games to my day. I have math games and ELA games and games throughout the different subjects. Before doing games, it's important that you address the idea of being a good loser for a game and how to win without bragging to the other classmates. We do several lessons on how to handle winning and losing in the classroom. And my students handle it perfectly at the beginning of the year. It's a little bit rough, but then once we go through how to handle winning and how to handle losing, that there are going to be losers in some of the games, then we have no problems the rest of the school year. I do a lot of boys versus girls games just because it's an easy way to split up the students. So here's some games that you can do with your students for math. One of them is you could do a girls versus boys. You give a math concept of whatever you happen to be going through. Let's say it's double digit addition. And you put the math problem on your board or on a virtual whiteboard that you have. And at home, they have mini whiteboards or they can use scratch paper. And they write out their answer. And the first person to hold up their answer gets a point for their team. Then that person's out of the game. So that gives the chance for the other students to be the fastest one. So then you give a new math problem, they show the answer, and then each time after the answer is shown, I do show the students how to correctly do the math concept. So it's reinforcing that math concept and then getting them to participate and to do it quickly. We do about 5 or 6 rounds and then move on to whatever the math concept is that day. And I do like to do my review of math with whatever the concept was either the day before or a few days before, so that they're getting that reinforcement of practicing that again. Another math game that I like to do is to put students in the breakout groups. And you give a math problem, and the first group that has the answer and makes it back in, because they can exit out of their breakout group. And once they come back in, then they show their answer. And then that group, someone from the group can explain how they got their answer. So that way you're having that interaction of a student explaining it to another student. But then there's that speed and that fun and making it a game. An ELA game that I like to do is to pick an object, such as like an umbrella, and then the students have to write down an adjective on their board. So they write it down. Everyone, when you say go, holds up their boards, and everyone who had a duplicate answer, so if it was umbrella and the students said colorful, all the students who said colorful would be out. If somebody said pointy and they were the only person that said pointy, then they get a point for their team. And then you go on, and you can also have students hold up words and do describing words. You can hold up a noun and have the students say adjectives for it or a verb that would go with it. There's all different ways that you can do different games to get them to interact with you and get them moving and not just sitting there and watching you on the screen. Another fun game that my students and I really, really like, it's called 7 Second Stop. And I'll put a link in the document that you'll get so you can link over to it. But each time we play it, the kids are laughing and smiling. We played it this last Friday, and I told them we were going to play it, and they all cheered. We also played it at the end of the year last year. We had a kids versus parents version, and that was a huge blast. They said that was their favorite day of the year. They loved watching their parents flub on their words and not be able to say all the words. The parents did end up winning by a point. And the parents were pretty proud of that they beat their kids. But how it works is you give them a question like name 3 fruits, and it's one person at a time, and they have 7 seconds to answer the question. And it sounds easy, but 7 seconds goes by really, really fast. And I hold up my timer on my phone and into the camera, and then we watch the time go up. And then I use my human buzzer, just go, eh. And then either they got the points or they didn't get the points. And so the questions are easy and it's fun, and I love their answers that they give out. Another fun activity that you can do is virtual field trips. There's a lot of free ones I'll put some links to some free ones in the document, and you can find some off of YouTube. The ones that I will give you in the document have activities that go with them so that the students are engaging. They're not just watching it, but they have to pay attention and answer questions with them. Another idea that I like to do is directed draw activities. There's so many books out there that you can find a directed draw that goes with it. For example, if it's a book about a monkey, then you can do a directed draw of the main character, the monkey. Or you can pick a scene from it and do just one part of the story. So you'll have to look. I'll put a link to some of them that I like to use, the directed draw ones, to help you out so you have a starting point. Also, I love to do show and tell. I do it in the classroom even when the kids are older. Show and tell, they don't get tired of it even at the older ages as well. But there's a couple different ways that you can do it with the distance learning. You can use it as a reward. Maybe the first 5 students that come on to the meeting get to do show and tell that day. Or it could be the first 5 students who finished their math for the day get to do it the next day. Or maybe the first 5 that finish all of their assignments for the day get to do show and tell for the day. So it can be a reward activity, or you can just assign them that these 5 students will do it every Monday, these 5 students will do it every Tuesday, and that way they can just plan for it and you know who's going to be doing it each day. So these are some fun ideas that you can do to help make your engagement go up, to make students look forward to coming to your live meetings because they never know what they're going to get. Oh, I forgot, I have one last one. There is a sneaker game that is a fun one to do, and you can do this with other things besides a sneaker. It could be maybe a favorite toy or a favorite book, but the students take a picture of it and email it over to you. And then you show them during the virtual learning, the live meeting, you show the different pictures of them. And then the students have to decide whose shoe does that belong to, or whose book is that their favorite book. So you can do this with all different kinds of objects, of having them play along with that and being able to decide and guess who it belongs to. So there's some great ideas. I will put more ideas on the document that you're going to receive, and hopefully that will help you boost your engagement. All right, have a good day.